So guys, welcome. Today we're talking about the story of Cyberpunk 2077. With all the things going on in this game, it can be pretty confusing to understand what exactly happened. But with this video, you'll get a complete recap of the story, and I'll explain all the endings as well. And there is even a secret ending many of you may not know. And if you guys do not want a spoiler, you can leave the video. Before we talk about V and the main events of the game, we need to look at the world's history because Cyberpunk's world is very different from ours. Starting from the late 80s, agencies like FBI and CIA removes the government and the control of USA. After that, in 90s United States goes through major problems. The economy begins collapsing, and large corporations become more powerful than many governments. Several states start operating independently, and the country's overall influence weakens. At the same time, the global economy is hit hard. Europe manages to survive these problems better than most regions. The European Union eventually turns the euro into the world's dominant currency, which is called EDI in the game. As the years pass, megacorporations become stronger and stronger. Their technology advances rapidly, and many countries become heavily dependent on them. Meanwhile, nuclear conflicts take place in parts of the Middle East, causing massive destruction across the region. Not much different from ours. After many years, governments slowly regain stability, but corporations continue holding enormous power. One of the most important locations in the game is Night City. Night City is located in Northern California, but it isn't controlled like a normal city. It has its own laws and operates separately from most governments. Because of this, many corporations use Night City as their base of operations. After the 2023 megacorporation war, mega companies secure even more power. Among all of them, the most powerful corporation is Arasaka. Now we jump to the year 2077. Our main character is V, which can be a nomad, a street kid, or a former Arasaka employee. V wants to become a legend in Night City. During one of V's jobs, he meets Jackie Wells. The two quickly become partners and spend the next 6 months doing small jobs around the city. Both V and Jackie want to reach the top. That's when they receive an offer from a famous fixer named Dexter Deshawn. Dexter gives them a contract to steal a biochip called the Relic from Arasaka's Konpeki Plaza. Now at this point, something important is happening inside Arasaka. The news of Arasaka discovering immortality has been leaked. A woman named Evelyn Parker and Dexter teams up. Without knowing what this relic is, Dexter sends us to steal it. V and Jackie successfully enter Konpeki Plaza and reach the penthouse. With the help of their netrunner T-Bug, they manage to get the relic. While hiding, V and Jackie, they witness an argument breaks out between Saburo and Yorinobu. Yorinobu ends up killing his own father, Saburo Arasaka, by strangling him. The moment this happens, the entire building goes into lockdown. Security is activated, and Arasaka starts searching for anyone who might have witnessed the incident. To make things worse, T-Bug gets traced by Arasaka netrunners. She is killed before she can help them escape. The two somehow manage to escape the penthouse and fight their way out of the building. But during the escape, Jackie is badly injured. At the same time, the container carrying the relic gets damaged. To keep it safe, Jackie inserts the relic into his own head. After a long and difficult escape, V and Jackie finally get out of Konpeki Plaza. But Jackie dies from his injuries and gives us the chip. V then goes to meet Dexter and hand over the relic. But the situation has changed completely. Arasaka is hunting everyone connected to the incident. Dexter realizes the job has become a disaster. To save himself, Dexter shoots V in the head and leaves him for dead. But because of the relic, V survives. Sometime later, the bodyguard of Saburo Arasaka named Takemura gets the location of V by Dexter. After getting the location, Takemura kills Dexter. Takemura was Saburo Arasaka's loyal bodyguard, and who has been fired and declared a traitor after Saburo's death. He suspects that Yorinobu is responsible and wants to expose him. After escaping, V visits Victor, who tells V that this chip contains the digital consciousness of Johnny Silverhand. The relic activated inside V's head, Johnny's engram has started merging with V's mind. According to Victo, as time passes, V's personality will slowly disappear. Eventually, the body will belong entirely to Johnny Silverhand. Removing the chip is not a solution either. If the relic is removed, V dies immediately. While looking for a way to save himself, V starts experiencing Johnny Silverhand's memories. Through Johnny Silverhand's memories, V learns about Alt Cunningham. Back in 2013, Johnny's girlfriend Alt was created a program called Soul Killer. Soul Killer was able to copy a person's consciousness and turn it into a digital construct. In simple terms, it could store a human mind inside the net. The problem was that the process killed the original body. Arasaka immediately saw how valuable this technology could be and kidnapped Alt to force her to work for them. Johnny, with the help of his friend Rouge, goes to save Alt. When Johnny finally reached her, it was already too late. Alt's body was dead. However, her consciousness had survived inside cyberspace. Years later, Johnny discovers that Arasaka stole Soulkiller and continued developing the technology for their own purposes. Arasaka's goal was to achieve digital immortality. The idea was simple. A person's mind could be converted into an engram and stored in a chip. Later, that chip could be inserted into a body, and the chip engram will take the control of the body, and if the body gets old, they can insert the chip into a new body. Hence, immortality. Johnny also learns that Alt still exists beyond the Black Wall as a powerful digital entity. Johnny's memories move forward to the 2023 Mega Corporation War. During the war, Arasaka and Militech are fighting for control. The operation is supported by Militech and the US government. Johnny was provided thermonuclear bomb by the government. With Rogue, they planted the bomb inside the tower. During the chaos, Johnny encounters Atom Smasher, soldier of Arasaka. Atom Smasher defeats Johnny, and Johnny gets captured by Arasaka. After that, Johnny is taken to an Arasaka facility. There, Soulkiller is used on him. His consciousness is copied and turned into a digital engram. Back in 2077, V now understands why Johnny is inside his head and why Arasaka considers the relic so important. At the same time, Arasaka has started promoting a service called Secure Your Soul. The company claims that it allows people to preserve themselves digitally after death. But behind the scenes, it is all based on the same Soulkiller program and the same experiments Arasaka has been conducting for decades. Meanwhile, Takemura is still trying to prove that Yorinobu murdered Saburo Arasaka. The best way to do that is by contacting Hanako Arasaka, Yorinobu's sister. Takemura arranges a meeting. However, reaching Hanako isn't easy. Arasaka security is everywhere, so they use taser on Hanako and make her unconscious and take her to another building. V tells Hanako what happened inside Konpeki Plaza, but at the same time, Arasaka again attacks on them, where Takemura dies. There is probably a way you can save him, but won't cause a major change in final ending. Hanako contacted us, and now she wants to expose his brother and became the new CEO. She tells us that Arasaka keeps people's digital consciousnesses inside a data fortress server called Mikoshi, which means Mikoshi might be the way to separate V and Johnny. And once we learn about Mikoshi, the story starts moving toward the different endings of the game. The first ending is the Arasaka ending. If V decides to trust Hanako, then Hanako helps arrange a meeting, and V agrees to work with Arasaka. After a large battle inside the tower, Hanako finally confronts Yorinobu. Eventually, the truth comes out. Saburo was indeed murdered by his own son. Arasaka takes V to space to separate Johnny from V. However, this is also where V learns how far Arasaka's immortality project has progressed. Using the relic and Soulkiller technology, Saburo's engram is transferred into Yorinobu's body. In other words, Saburo effectively takes over his son's body. Afterward, V undergoes surgery to separate Johnny Silverhand from his mind. The procedure is successful. Johnny is removed. But there is another problem. The damage caused by the relic is already too severe. The doctors tell V that even after surviving everything, he only has a limited amount of time left to live. Arasaka then gives V a choice. V can return to Earth and live out the remaining months of life. Or V can allow his consciousness to be stored digitally inside Mikoshi, hoping that one day he can be merged with someone's body. This is generally considered one of the darker endings, because V ends up placing his future entirely in Arasaka's hands and betrays his all friends. Now in the second ending, the Panam ending, you can call your lover Panam for help. Along with her nomad clan, the Aldecaldos, she helps V reach Mikoshi through Arasaka's tunnels. But during the assault, several Aldecaldo members die, including their leader, Saul. V eventually reaches Mikoshi, where Alt helps separate Johnny from V. However, Alt also reveals that V's body has been affected by the relic for too long. The damage is so severe that V's body is now rejecting V's own psyche. Because of this, V only has around 6 months left to live. At this point, you get another choice. If you give the body to Johnny, then Johnny can continue living in V's body without any problems. If you choose Johnny, he leaves a memorial pendant for V at V's grave in Night City, and then leaves the city to start a new life. But if you choose to stay alive as V for the remaining 6 months, Then V leaves Night City with Panam and the Aldecaldos. Together they head out to start a new life, hoping that somewhere out there, a Ripper Doc might still be able to find a cure. Now the third ending, the rogue ending. In this ending, V can give control of the body to Johnny. Johnny then teams up with his old friend Rogue and launches another assault on Arasaka Tower to finally settle the score from 2023. During the attack, Alt, in her AI form, shuts down Arasaka's systems and equipment. However, Atom Smasher ends up killing Rogue, but this time, Johnny succeeds in getting his revenge on Atom Smasher. After reaching Mikoshi, Johnny has to make a choice. He can either keep V's body for himself or give it back to V. If Johnny gives the body back, V becomes a legend of Night City. In the public's eyes, it was V who raided Arasaka Tower. In this ending, V is not told that he only has 6 months left to live. V also takes over the Afterlife Club in Rogue's place and becomes one of Night City's top fixers. In his obsession to become a true legend, he even ends up leaving Panam behind. But during V's final mission, he heads to raid a space casino. While approaching the station, the oxygen tank in his spacesuit starts leaking. The game never clearly tells us what happens next, but it's possible that V dies during the mission. However, if Johnny decides to keep the body instead of giving it back to V, then just like in the previous ending, he leaves Night City and heads off to start a new life somewhere else. Before launching the final assault, V can decide not to involve anyone else. At this point, V has already seen friends die. Corporations destroy lives, and countless people get caught in the middle of the conflict. Instead of risking more lives, V can choose to end everything. This immediately leads to one of the saddest endings in the game. Afterward, the credits show messages from the people who cared about V and their reactions to the loss. The game clearly presents this as a tragic outcome. Then, there is the secret ending. Now the fifth ending is a hidden ending. In this ending, you keep Johnny with you and decide to assault Arasaka Tower completely alone. This is basically a suicide run because you're going in without any backup. If you die during the assault, the game ends right there and you'll be remembered as a legend. But if you manage to reach Mikoshi, then you once again get the choice of giving the body to Johnny. If you give the body to Johnny, then the same ending plays out where Johnny starts a new life. But if you keep the body for yourself, this time, V takes over the Afterlife Club along with Rogue's legacy. After that, V goes on one final mission to raid a space casino. However, during the mission, V's spacesuit gets damaged. What happens after that is never clearly shown, so we never find out exactly what happened to V. But every option comes with some kind of sacrifice. So, the conclusion is, the developers doesn't want to give you happy ending just like your ex-girlfriend. And with that, the story of Cyberpunk 2077 comes to an end. Now subscribe, cause I'm making this video in this summer without a fan or cooler.